Hello, my name is Stephen Fairchild with Netley Consulting, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Bower. Bower is used for dependency management, so if you use jQuery, Bootstrap, Angular, other libraries in your code and your projects, you already know it can be a pain to try to manage those dependencies manually, either by linking to CDNs or downloading the files and manually adding them into your project subdirectories and directories. It's a hassle to do that for each and every project you use, especially if there's some of the same files and libraries that you're using over and over again. And then it adds even more complexity to the situation when you've got other team members involved, and everybody's trying to keep their development servers in sync. And then jQuery releases a new update, and everybody has to update and try to get on the same page. And there's just lots of problems and pain points that come into play there. So Bower will help us simplify all of that, and it's super easy. And I'll show you how to do it. Let's begin. So I've already created a project folder here. I'm just called it app, and I'm going to create an index.html file as the main project file, and we'll just save it here. And we'll go ahead and make this an HTML file, and we'll just put it a little hello world script in here. Let's say that again. Okay, great. Here it is. So the next thing we'll want to do is hop over into our terminal, and let's change into our project directory, our root directory. And I'm using Linux here. If you're using Mac, the instructions should be pretty similar. And if you're using Windows, then you can go over to the Bower website to get instructions there, because I don't use Windows or endorse Windows. So here we are. Here's our index file, and what we'll want to do is install npm first. So we're just going to do, again, where I'm on Linux, I'm using Arch Linux. I'll do a pacman install npm. We'll also need Node, so I would do a pacman install Node or Node.js, something like that. If you're using another package manager like Yum, you can probably do yum install Node, yum install npm, something like that, to bring in our Node dependencies. So basically, you just need to be running Node.js on your machine. Next thing, once we've got Node up, we'll need to actually install Bower, and here we can do npm install Bower, and if we wanted to, we can install this globally, so it's available in all of our projects and not just this directory. But I tend to like to install it depending on which directory I'm in, so I can do npm install Bower and run enter on that, and it'll spin for a minute and do its thing. You'll actually notice in the background here, it's actually already dropped in a new directory for Node modules, and that's just some of the dependencies that it needs to work properly. Those are Node dependencies, and boom, that should have been handled there. You'll see a couple different things have been added into our project. So now that that's that, we're actually going to go back into our main app, and inside our root directory, I'm going to create a folder where all of our dependencies are going to lie. So we'll just call this libraries right here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new bower.json file. Create that bower.json, and inside of bower.json, this is a JSON file, believe it or not. We're going to just build out a couple little lines here that define our app, and I'll just call this my app. We'll give it a version 1. Call this version 1.0, and here we're going to list the dependencies. I think I spelled that wrong. Yeah, I did need an in there. We're going to list our dependencies that we want. And some of the things I like using in my project are jQuery, and I want the latest version. And sometimes I'll also use Bootstrap, and we want that to always be the latest version of it too. We'll save this file. Next, we're going to create another new file. This one's going to be a .bower RC file, and we're just going to define one thing here, and this is going to be the directory where we want our project files and our frameworks and libraries to be stored. And obviously that's in libraries, the folder we just created. So here we've got our bower RC file that defines which directory we want to store our dependencies into. We've got our bower JSON file, which defines our app and the dependencies we want to install. And we'll just hop back over into the terminal and we'll run a bower install. You'll see it's doing some stuff in the background. It's actually pulling these directories out of GitHub. And it should be installing them. So if we flip back over to our project, we look in our libraries folder right here. We've got Bootstrap installed, and we've also got jQuery installed. Now, if we wanted to, if Bootstrap put out 4.0 or 3.9 or whatever, anytime that updates, we could come back into our terminal, into our directory, just do a bower update, and run that, and it would update to the latest, as long as we've got latest plugged in here. Now, also, instead of editing this file, you can also run it straight from the command line, and we could do something like this: bower install Angular, and throw in the save flag, run that, and we'll see it pulling Angular out of the GitHub directory and dropping it in to our file structure, and also adding that version into our dependencies listed here in the bower JSON file. So now if we wanted to, we could ship this app wherever we wanted to. We can add it to GitHub, we can send it to our other developers on the team, and those developers can simply just run the same things we did here, install bower locally, and then run bower install on the app, and it will install all the dependencies that we have in here, all without having to manually go to any sites to try to drag and pull the most updated versions in. And yeah, at this point, all we will need to do is come in here into our head section, list out scripts, and just add our sources in here, libraries, and direct to our files. And that's an easy way to automate dependency management for your projects. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please leave in the comments. Thanks.